The old box blade does a nice job around here smoothing things out. But looks like Zach forgot to turn off the hazards. I don't even know where they are on this thing, to be honest. Right there. Good morning, everybody. Today looks like the last day of fall. It's kind of what, as far as operationally, see, we got a beautiful sunrise going this morning. We had a bit of snow over the weekend, not much, it was pretty warm, but they're saying we might get up to 30 centimeters, that's a foot for my American friends, of rain and or snow over the next, well, starting this evening into tomorrow. So we kind of got to get the farm ready. Not a lot we need to do. I'm just kind of finishing off a couple projects, making sure nothing's on the ground kind of thing. And I did a good part of that on Friday, just scraping this up. But that guy needs a snowblower on it. That guy needs to get put in the shed for now. It might end up eventually over where the semis are once we get the sprayer back. Obviously got to put the bulldozer away somewhere. Probably finish working on my auger and haul it down to my uncle's. Like a lot of little things, but I'm really not feeling ambitious today. I'm fighting a bit of a flu, so I'm pretty sore, pretty chilled, but Mother Nature waits for no one. Well, we're making headway. Uh-oh. Sounds like I'm out of fuel. Sure, that'll be more than enough. So we got this guy all dialed in. We added a couple washers just to tighten up the gap here. It was kind of sloppy. It was riding pretty high on the cogs there. We are dripping there. I might just move that up to the next set. That guy's gonna warm up. I was gonna haul that auger down to my uncle's today. I don't know if I will, but I guess we could fire up that grain truck now too. Well, we got it all tucked away. Lots of room now that I don't have the lawnmower and side-by-side and quad in here. And I threw out a bunch of junk. Keep this guy inside until the sprayer shows up. This guy's probably parked here for the winter. This guy will need off and on. This guy's ready to blow snow. So now I sent Zach on his way down to my uncle's with the other auger. And I'm going to clean up the war zone, better known as my Dodge farm truck. Good morning, everybody. Today is American Thanksgiving. We don't shut down for American Thanksgiving. We just call it a Thursday around here. And as you can see, it's gotten a bit wintry around here. We had 2 storms roll through. We were just on the edge of both. And so we got a nice little base layer of snow, nothing terribly serious. But it's winter. Winter always makes all the gremlins come out. And Dad's got the semi running. Oh, I gotta plug that thing in. Oh, just gonna plug this conveyor in real quick. I just wrap it with a tarp. Put a little milk room heater in there. So I've been sick all week. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty rough. Been trying to keep myself locked inside. I don't know how much voice I got for this. There, that's a little better. So Zach's been doing some trucking, hauling some wheat down to Ceres, and first 2 loads went pretty well. Nothing special. The third load, he was dumping. In Ceres, you can space out and get your front and rear hopper on this thing over 2 separate grates. Or is it the same one? I think it's 2 separate ones. And then you kind of open them both, I don't know, 20%. Keep in mind the first like 4 or 5% does nothing. Anyways, he's dumping both, gets them about the same time, and the front hopper runs out, so he runs her open, and then he runs to close it with the remote gates, and it just stops. He said it got back to about 10% and it stopped. Oh, okay. Well, then he goes and tries to run the rear gate because it ran empty. Nothing. And, you know, there's a fair bit on those slopes. Probably a ton or so once they've run out. On the back one, probably 1.5 tons. On the front one, probably a ton. So, yeah, he had to pull the pin and do the manual override on it, which is fine. We get back here. There's power on the umbilical. Oh man, my voice is terrible. But I can't get power into the trailer. We had it flicker once, and that's no good because we've got an electric tarp, and there's no way to, well, there is a way to override it, but it's not very effective. So yeah, we got back. Now, here, I'll back up a second. The Volvo did not like starting this morning. I don't know if the block heater's no good. She was a tough turn, but she went. What was I saying? Yeah, so you can pull this pin. He did it on the back hopper, he told me. Looks like he put it back in, and it is fully closed. This one is not fully closed. Like, we can run it that way. The problem is if we can't put the tarp on. Definitely can't run it that way. We got lucky it didn't snow last night. Otherwise we'd have a mess on our hands. But we're gonna do some troubleshooting. So I did fire up that Volvo. I'm not convinced the engine's 100% on that, but if we have to try and use it for a bit, we might. If that's all it takes, because I was smart enough and I put an umbilical on there to match this trailer, then we'll just do a straight 1-to-1. We'll just drop that and change, and then we gotta redo the limits on the gates. Well, that should be it. Otherwise, I suspect that this receptacle, the points are no good. So we're gonna try and find out here. Kind of hard to film when you're doing everything, but yeah, we ended up having to put a whole new end on it. We're not sure why it failed, but we'll get re-hooked up here, and we'll get Zach back on the road. Oh, I don't know. This guy might start. It's pretty finicky at times. That sounds pretty good. I'm sure it'll start later. So let's get some stuff going on here. Friggin' pigeons. Oh yeah. Well, need a new battery. So Friday was like minus 24 or minus 25. Zach hauled one load of wheat down to Ceres, and we finished off the fertilizer bin. So now we got 3 empty fertilizer bins, and I just need half a load to finish the contract. Tried pulling out of this bin, and it would take a month of Sundays to do it that way. So, gonna have to get that addressed. I've already talked to Wall Grain. They're gonna send a guy out at some point, but it doesn't help me in the meantime. So we did test all of these in the past, like in probably July or beginning of August there. We ran all the motors, they seemed to run fine. We ran all the augers, they ran fine, except one had a bit of a ting, and then we figured out that it was a little bend in one of the panels, and I fixed that. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna yank that one off and put it on here and put that one just on that pallet that's been sitting there. All right, both motors are off. That is the trouble one. This is from over there. Now we've actually hauled, I'm pretty sure Dad's hauled canola out. I'm pretty sure he has. So the bins go wheat, canola, wheat, canola. Pretty simple. This is the only one that hasn't been tested under load, and it didn't even get to try. So we did test the plug, and it does have 240 volt. You know, it still could be that plug, but if this changing this doesn't change anything, then I'm gonna have to string power from either that bin or that bin, and Zach's gonna have to dig into that, figure out what's wrong with that outlet, but I'm pretty sure it's a motor issue. All right, let's give this one a test now that it's on this. Oh yeah, that's how she should fire up.